Alright, I've gotten to the point where I'm starting to do some research on knife making forges. I think this is the brand I'm settled on. Majestic Forge. The ones that I'm really interested in is the 2 burner, the 3 burner, and since most of my knives are not that length, they're at most they would come to the middle here, I wouldn't need the 3rd one all the time. But on the other hand, it's you know, how much more is it? It's $100 more for an extra burner, and I think it's probably 6 more inches in length. So I could make my Bayou chopper or a machete someday if I wanted to, but I wouldn't be able to control the 3rd burner because there's only one nozzle that turns. This actually controls all 3 burners, so you can't shut one off. That's a whole lot of propane being wasted. So then you come to, there we go. Here's the 3 burner, El Grande Deluxe con Todos. This has 3 separate knobs that you can control the flame or shut it off or adjust it on each burner. So even though it is $450, this is the one I think I'm shooting for. If there's anybody out there with any experience on Majestic Forges, I would appreciate your input. I was looking at NC Tool. I've looked at Diamondback. There's a whole bunch of forges out there, but I've actually seen a lot of videos of people using these Majestic Forges for making knives, and no complaints. There's a couple of older knife making forums where people had bad things to say about these, but I kind of think that some people, if one guy badmouths a product, other people jump on board to make it appear as though they are in the know, and or they just want to agree with somebody. And I have found that you can't always, on forums, you can't always believe what you hear. You gotta hear it from people who actually have their hands on one and are using it, and that's what I'm looking for. If anybody has a Majestic Forge out there, a little input in the comment section would be appreciated. Thanks. All right. To the person that is getting this, I happen to know this person, and it's a woman, and consequently, I don't know where to tie this. Do you want this neck knife above the rack? Below the rack? So I'm leaving enough string here on the back that you can adjust this to whatever height you want. And when you decide where you want this around your neck, how high or low you want it to set, tie this in a knot like that. You tie it really, pull it really, really tight, and then you cut the ends off, and then you take a lighter and you melt the ends and you melt the knot. And I don't mean melt it, but you make sure that the knot, it semi-melts, you know. It doesn't melt everywhere, but it won't come undone unless you put a lot of force on it. I mean, you don't have to melt it together, but you definitely want to melt both ends because they will fray. So this is how I'm going to leave it, sending it to you. With me, it sets, you know, right about mid-chest, but then I don't have boobs. So, well, I have moobs, but that's a whole different story. Anyway, I have one more coat of clear to put on this. And I'm going to put it on now and let it dry overnight. And tomorrow morning, I'll ship this to you. Coming to you. Actually, this is how it sits. That was the back. One more coat of True Oil on it. And let me see if I can get this out with one hand. Yep. Haven't put the edge on yet. I'm fixing to do that now. I'll put the edge on, put another coat of True Oil on it, let it dry overnight, and I'll send you a tracking number in the morning. Okay. Oh, one other thing, Chuck. I have your knife cut out. I'm making the ferro rod holder, and all my ferro rods are all the same size. There's one. Here's one that I made and never did get rid of, and that's what I use for the mold. It's going to be a real tight fit, but that's what you want, a tight fit. So I've got your knife cut out. I've got it on my jig. Tomorrow I have to take my wife to get her a CAT scan for make sure she's still cancer free. So tomorrow's a wash. Tomorrow will be Thursday. So Friday I will put the bevel on your knife and get it in my vise and start putting the satin finish on it. Okay, we are up to date. And for my friends in Florida, hold tight. Rob, yeah, Rob uses his last name. Doesn't he? Rob, no, he doesn't. Rob's Homemade Life. Man, I'm thinking about you, brother. You're going to be right in the middle of it. He's in Miami, I believe. Yes, he's in Miami. I don't think he minds me telling folks that. You know, some people are real. They're real worried about people finding out where they live or what their name is, and God, I'm not. And not everybody feels that way. So I try and respect people's who I know and who I know where they live and their personal information. So in my mind, I have to remember if they're, you know, if they don't want any information out, or you know what I mean. I have a lot of people in my head who, when I talk about them or mention them, I have to think, do they use their name or do they use their city? And anyway, Rob does. Rob's Homemade Life in Miami. Batten down the hatches, brother. We're thinking about you. Oh yeah, one last thing. The Swamp Devil, the design, that odd design that I've come up with, just got the parts in. These came from a knife company in Houston, and took about 2 weeks, week and a half for me to get this. I didn't have the heart to cancel my order, and they couldn't get the post office to their building to pick up packages. Anyway, this is red liner, red mosaic pin, black micarta handles, grips, and that is $45 worth of stuff right there. And then the cost of the steel, the cost of the leather, the red thread I got to buy. So I'm going to be into the blade just in materials. Oh, probably 75 bucks. Anyway, I'm not going to get back to working on that until I finish with Chuck's Swamp Rat, and he wants a dangler with ferro rod. And I'm going to make the ferro rod look similar to the Swamp Rat handle. The handles will look like each other. Bird's eye maple handle with walnut liners. And the handle I'm going to make for the ferro rod is also going to have walnut down the center of it. So basically I'm going to make the handle, cut it in half, glue a piece of walnut in the middle, and put it back together. Anyway, it's going to be nice. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, that is all. I won't bother you with any more videos for a couple of days. Tomorrow's going to be, I think I already mentioned, tomorrow we won't be here. And there's the last coat. And boy, did that thing take an edge. My God, it's scary. Okay. Probably see you Monday.